Today I'm flying my drone at the Serviceton railway station. Serviceton is situated in the western part of Victoria in Australia. Theoretically, when it was set up in 1889, it was supposed to be on the Victorian South Australian border. But unfortunately the calculations were out a little bit and I think it missed the mark by several kilometres. Anyhow, the reason why Serviceton railway station, and the reason why it had its name, which implies that it was there to service things, was the fact that prior to Federation and for many years after, a lot of Australian states had their own railway gauges. So this meant that the railway carriages made for Victoria didn't fit on the railway lines made for South Australia. So what used to happen was there was a sideline that was built here at Serviceton, and when the train came in from Adelaide or from Melbourne, the passengers had to disembark at Serviceton and get on the train, which was the correct gauge for the city that they were going to. Pretty silly, really. Theoretically, at least. Now the railway lines in Australia are of a standard gauge, whatever that is. But I remember as a small boy going through here on the train and having to get out at Serviceton with everything and go and get in the other train going the other way. The railway station opened in 1889 and operated until 1986. It's a huge building, about 14 rooms in there in total, including a ballroom and a jail. When prisoners were to be extradited from one state to the other, they were shipped or came as on the train to Serviceton, and routinely, apparently, one train used to wait 3 hours for the other train to turn up, and the prisoners were locked up in an underground prison that was part of the Serviceton railway station. It's supposed to be haunted. However, I guess that depends on what you happen to believe in at the time. So there's also a morgue there, I guess for the same reason. If someone happened to die in South Australia and they were going to be buried in Victoria, well, it was a good way to transport them on the train. So hence the reason for the morgue. The ballroom in the building is quite large, and I guess in the 3-hour break that people would have had, they would have had refreshments and the opportunity to have a bit of entertainment in the ballroom. The place has been abandoned for about the last 40 years, and you can still organise for a caretaker to take you through and show you all the parts of the building and tell you bits and pieces about its history. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and see